So there has been another name that has been connected to the Cowboys in this trade rumor mill cycle that we're going through as we enter training camp and even before training camp, the draft, and you name it. And that name is Deion Jones. There are a lot of people trying to connect dots together and see this pairing happen between Jones and the Cowboys. So the rundown is this. Deion Jones, former linebacker of Dan Quinn, as he was in Atlanta being their head coach. The Cowboys need a linebacker. The Falcons want to kind of go down the route of a full hard-on rebuild. So the Cowboys can make a trade for him. They get a good linebacker. The Falcons get cap relief. It's a match made in heaven for some people. Today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of a Deion Jones trade for the Cowboys. Does it make sense? Could it happen? All that other crap. We'll talk about that in today's video. Before we begin, if you can like this video, that'd be great. Helps it perform better in the YouTube algorithm. Thank you for that. Subscribe if you're new so you don't miss out on Cowboys content as it comes out. And hit the notification bell so when those videos come out, you get notified as soon as it does so you don't miss out on them. Now look, Deion Jones is a name that I've talked about earlier in the offseason, and I was semi-interested in the idea of adding a linebacker, and that's because of the way the Cowboys construct their team, okay? It feels like they literally did nothing to add to this roster and are just hoping that the young guys build onto that. So, in comes Deion Jones in this rumor mill. Now, to start things off, can the Cowboys make such a maneuver? Yeah, they can. If they wanted to, they can make room to do such a trade. So to start things off, the Cowboys have this cap space to do it. I believe they have the third or second highest cap space in the league as we stand currently, so it's not like they can't make a move like that. That's number one. Number two, they do have the draft capital to do it, and odds are you would not be looking for something super expensive. And we'll get into the reasons for why it would not be such a big investment for the Cowboys to trade draft capital in the future for him. But the Cowboys can make a move. Now, on the next side of that, on paper, does it make sense? Well, yeah, I mean, the Cowboys need a linebacker. I talked about the possibility and likelihood that Anthony Barr becomes the Cowboys sometime during training camp because of how the Cowboys have done things over the past couple of seasons with Mike McCarthy and this front office kind of working together. So, when it comes to trading, though, we haven't seen that happen in quite some time during the training camp period, if ever at all. You know, it might have been a very much so a long time before we see it happen again, if it's ever happened. Let me know down in the comments if it has. So, it's really more so if the Cowboys want to do such a move. So, there have been people saying the trade proposal can involve between a 4th to 6th round draft pick to get the deal done. And yeah, like, sure, that makes sense. You know, hey, you're taking on a guy that has 2 years left on a contract that's extremely expensive, to say the least. You know, having a $20 million cap hit in 2022, and then in 2023 having an $18 million cap hit, you know. And if you kind of look at it that way, it's one of those moves that are like a push to the middle of the table type of move. But is there a reason why the Cowboys shouldn't do such a maneuver like this? Hey, you know, you're getting a guy for cheap. You don't have to worry about giving up too much. Now, you might be thinking I'm, you know, covering for Stephen Jones here with the cap space crap. But look, there is a reason I think that the Falcons have not moved him yet. Number one, it's his health. Okay? He has this questionable history of health, right? Just recently, 2 days ago, the Falcons put him on the physically unable to perform list. And usually, there's only a handful of guys that come on that list, right? And according to some sources, he can come off that list at any point in time from right here, right now, until training camp begins for Atlanta. So the reasoning is that he had surgery in May to repair a shoulder injury. And with that, according to the front office and coaching staff of Atlanta, he was going to miss a lot of the offseason activities and also possibly training camp, okay? And that was back in May, once again. Then there were people that added on to it, talking about how after he went with the surgery, the whole cap space and the rumblings that possibly he could be cut or traded, right? So even if Deion Jones will play this season, his ability to get traded, just had a very big downward spiral because people don't want to give up too much to get a guy that you don't know about his future. Now, according to the numbers, like I said, you have the cap hit there. And with the cap space for the Cowboys being in the upper 20, or not even the upper 20s, the mid 20s, you could say, hey, you're not going to use the money this year. And if you're not going to use it next year, especially if you're not going to sign anybody, even your own players, you might as well do it, right? And look, Dallas is going to be in that whole situation of re-signing players, so I know some people in the comments will have their reservations on that. But here's where I will say this. If the Cowboys feel that their linebacking core is that bad or they need to get someone in there, there is a very short list of people that you can add, like a Deion Jones, that can fix that. You added 2 guys to your linebacking core. I'm not talking about the people you brought back. Christian Sam and Malik Jefferson, who I think are camp bodies unless proven otherwise, right? If you are content with rolling in, and we talked about it, you got Micah Parsons and question marks all around. That's no insult to Jabril Cox or Damone Clark or these other individuals. It's just, we don't know. And if you are scared that you are going to be caught with regression in that room, you need to add someone in there. And if you're that desperate, you can add him for cheap. And I will go even further to say this. Hear me out on this, Cowboys fans. Even if the Dallas Cowboys elected to trade for him in 2022, and you go into the following year, right, into 2023, you can cut him post June 1st and you can save money. It's really this year that you're on the hook for. And I think that even if you were to go like this, hey, listen, we're going to bring you in for this year and then we'll cut you after the season, the Cowboys could save $13 million. They'd get their cap space back. That would be enough to kind of put towards resources to sign a Dalton Schultz or re-sign a CD Lamb or whoever. So I want Cowboys fans to think, if you look at the numbers, you should make a move like this for cheap. Give up a 5th or 6th round pick, which you don't really hit on in those draft parts anyway. You get a guy for at minimum 1 year and you cut him if he doesn't do good. It makes sense if you look at it that way. The only way that I would be hesitant to do such a move is the health. Will the shoulder be fine? Will he be ready for the season? Can he get integrated into the team enough to where we're not going to have to deal with growing pains? It's important that the Cowboys decide whether or not they want to add guys. And I'm not talking about Deion Jones, and we know it's not going to happen, but you have to make a decision. Because I don't want there to be a problem, going into training camp where it's like, oh, we added this guy in the middle of the season. It's a mess. So add the guy, if whether it be Deion Jones or whoever, do it now so they're ready. And you want to do it quickly before we start getting to the preseason games. So I think that pretty much wraps up this discussion regarding Deion Jones and whether or not the Cowboys should try to acquire him. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And most importantly, if you did reach the end, thank you so much. And if you missed the last video, click on the video link up on the screen so you can go check out that video and not miss out on any of the other content I put out. So, have a great rest of your day, guys. Goodbye.